is Crystal Dragon and welcome to Dragon's Game. And this is Dragon's Game video game news. Call this a mouthful. It doesn't really matter, this is going to be replaced after the lockdown by something new which we have plans coming up soon. Also a little bit of news on this on this little channel. Little teaser for you. It's not going to be me on my own. We've actually got someone new coming along to be my partner in crime here. So look forward to that in the future. But suffice it to say, this is a new basic news about video games. And our top story would be that one of my beloved game franchises is now becoming a TV show. Now before I tell you what that is, the one thing is, it's a good idea that video games become TV shows, not movies. Now, 90% of all video games that became movies, more or less, was down the dumps. Sorry, rubbish. But instead, we have the option of TV. Now, the one thing about TV being a better option than movies is because video games standardly goes to anywhere from 4 to 10 hours, maybe even longer, of content and story. Now, no offense, what they do try to do is they try to fit 10 hours of story and content into a 2-hour little slot on a movie. It doesn't work. The other option is that you have TV, which people are finally starting to cotton on to this. Is that TV goes into episodes which could have up from 10 to 20 hours worth of content, of story and content, rather than just the simple 2 hours in a movie. This has been proven recently by The Witcher on Netflix. I haven't watched it properly yet. I've been meaning to get around to it, but it's a new video game series to me, I will be honest. But I will get around to watching it sometime in the near future. But this is not about that video game TV show. It's about the up-and-coming HBO TV show, and that is The Last of Us. Yes, The Last of Us is coming onto the small screen, which is much more deserved. It should be on the small screen rather than the big screen. The amount of content in The Last of Us could never ever fit into a movie. All that emotion, all that range could never ever work in a movie. So that's why I'm so glad that they're coming to the senses and doing this on TV. Excuse me. Apologies for that. And it's a good thing. There's no release date yet announced to it at all. There's no real release date on who the actor is or anything else. This is a little leak that was put out about 3 days ago. But I am so glad that it's happened. And I hope that a lot more franchises will end up on the small screen rather than movies, because they are actually much more well deserved on the small screen than they are on the big screen. So that is one of the big good ideas. One of the good ideas that they finally caught on with. Now on to our next bit of news, and it concerns Konami. Used to be one of everyone's favourite game developers, but they've gotten themselves into a rut. The reason why? We all know Kojima. To be honest and truthful, ever since Kojima left, Konami hasn't been the same, and all their IPs are stuck in limbo, except to be made into second-rate pachinko machines. But not anymore, because Konami has decided to do something that I hope that I'm somewhat debating whether it's good or a bad idea here. They're outsourcing their IPs to other companies. This means Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, Castlevania, all those IPs could be outsourced to other companies. Whether this is good or bad, we don't know. Worse enough still, it could end up in the hands of EA, but let's not think about that. But the more to the point, if they're going to be outsourced, then there is a general hope that Kojima Productions can take on those outsourced IPs, and we get the Metal Gear and the Silent Hills that we want. No more Metal Gear Survives. It was an okay game, but it didn't have Kojima's magic into it, let's be honest and truthful. There was not much of Kojima's magic there. It was so generic in the end. So hopefully, Kojima manages to get... Apologies. Kojima does manage to actually get her hands on those outsourced IPs and start doing all the games we know and love. Other bits on our news. EA has bought another company again. Whether this is good or bad, we don't know. Codemasters. Apologies. Codemasters is now being officially bought by EA. Whether that's good or bad, we don't really know. Because the main reason why they wanted to buy it is to actually get hold of their Formula 1 games to add to their esports range. Now, we all know what happens when EA gets hold of a property. It gets hold of game developers, they gut it to holy hell, and then we don't get... All our favourite games disappear into the wind. So, any game by Codemaster could end up disappearing into thin air. We don't know. But from what I hear, there's not much from Codemaster these days that games doing, that games have actually been done by, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that is today's Dragons news. Like I said, this will be replaced in future by a new TV show with my new partner in crime, but that's not going to be for another month. Also, sorry for the poor quality of the camera. My camera seems to be dying. I am getting a new one soon, so I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching and goodbye.